Appreciate your patience. We're just making sure we can record. So. All right. Thank you, Paula, and welcome everyone who is here in person or online. This is the city of Cottonwood Heights. It's just after 7 p.m. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late. My name is Mike Peterson. It's Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. And this is our business meeting, one of our business meetings for this month. We'd like to excuse Councilor Michael, who is ill.
He's down there.
Oh, I wrote it right here. Councilmember Bruce. I'm ready. I'm thinking of the polls.
You could have taken that opportunity to just get up and be gone.
Dang. All right. We excuse Councilmember Tally Bruce tonight, as well as our city attorney, Shane Topham, who is traveling. And but we will give Councilmember Michael the opportunity, since he's here, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Following the agenda, next item is citizen comments. We have two people who have signed up to make comments, but of course more can speak if they need to. First, I'd like to give the opportunity to Nathan, is it Parasit? Okay. Welcome, Nathan. Go ahead, finish.
Get that, thank you very much, and was able to go and computer generate, figure out that flow test or whatever they were doing right there. And I was super grateful for that because it would have flooded my yard again. When we had those huge rains, it was absolutely horrible. My home is not the only one that this happens to. It's created a sinkhole in my yard. My neighbors across the street and the other ones, it all accumulates in their driveways, which has created a lot of damage in our driveways. I understand that there's a lot of maintenance that this is going to be, that these additional funds are going to be used for, and that there are some lines that have broken. However, our street has no line and we suffer the consequences of that. And especially being on Butler, it's a street that's been overlooked. In addition to that, the road has been resurfaced many times, creating a rainbow shape on the road, which has exacerbated the issue of runoff into all of our yards. And so I went and spoke with the neighbors and received signatures from 15 signatures from 15 homes. And that was just from this morning, just to kind of throw that together. And so the few houses that I didn't go to in that stretch might be in support of that as well. So I respectfully request that those funds that are raised from this tax revenue, the homes south of Pineview on Virginia Hills Drive, be looked at to go and receive those funds in a way that is prompt and not put down further on the list. Thank you very much for your time.
Nathan, thank you for your comments. And even though we typically don't get feedback, I have personal interest in Virginia Hills Drive, growing up there. And actually the street was built in 1954. I grew up there and went to Butler Elementary, so I know that street very well. And if I remember correctly, and Matt, you can correct me, I think that when that new big home was put in at the very bottom of the hill at the northern end, there was some stormwater efforts made down the middle because it was a major construction project. But I encourage you to meet with Matt, talk about Virginia Hills Drive. It's one of the oldest streets in our city, and very familiar with it, and appreciate you taking interest in that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I spoke with Matt and he was very gracious. He said I could set up a time with him to meet one-on-one.
Yeah,
if I would
do
like
that.
to. So,
Because as we put together our long-range plan on stormwater, that's one of those streets that's got some special, unique challenges. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nathan.
Sorry, Mayor. Do you have that, Nathan? I'm sorry, the letter you got signed by your residents?
Yeah.
Did you want to submit that?
I could.
Or do you want to do you just want to email it to me?
I could if it's necessary, or
Well,
I
if you want to email it, that's fine. Well, it's up to you. I mean, you mentioned it, so I didn't know if you wanted to bring it in.
Thanks again, Nathan. Appreciate you coming. Yeah. Tim, what would you do without me, Halbeck? I read it as it's written.
All right, the last 2 or 3 meetings have been pretty serious, so this is going to be just all jokes. Get back to the old Timmy with the city council kind of thing. Vote for Timmy, by the way. Anyway, I'm not saying the mayor is old, but he went to an antique auction and 3 women bid on him. So anyway, he went to the movie Jurassic Park and he's like, man, that brings back memories. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Really? All right. Oh, speaking of antiques, I went to the antique store and they had a chocolate record player. Oh, it sounded so sweet. Anyway, all right.
What are you going to do when I'm not here to hassle?
Exactly. I have to come up with a whole new set of things depending on who's sitting in that chair. There you go. Oh, how do you track Will Smith in the snow? You follow the Fresh Prince. That's for people older than 30. All right. All right. You with me? All right. Okay. Oh, man.
Push that button. The clock's not running.
Wait. She forgot to start it. That's really funny. Oh, okay. My wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. It's a big step forward. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I got Netflix. I was watching a program about beavers. Best damn program I've ever seen. All right. There you go. And I have one. That was in bad taste. I won't say that. It's about if Black Lives Matter was at Bunker Hill, they'd say, don't fire until you see the whites. Okay, see you guys.
All right, thank you, Tim. Anyone else who would like to comment? So we have a couple of guests here. We'll have a fairly short meeting tonight, being election night. So with that, we'll close the citizen comment period. And we have two business items we need to deal with. The first item is item 4.1 on your agenda. It's consideration of a resolution 2021-54, approving entry into a service agreement with Pacific Corp. Matt, do you want to introduce that?
Yes, Mayor, this is, as we've already talked a little bit already about the stormwater fee. Pacific Corp we're entering to agreement with them that they would be the collection for our monthly ERU fee. This is that agreement. They are doing it with other neighboring cities who have just adopted fee structure as well for stormwater. Pacific Corp, the mother corporation of Rocky Mountain Power back in Oregon, has been working on a tariff that would allow them the ability to do this at the request of a couple of municipalities here in Utah. And they finally got that figured out and straightened out. And this is that agreement for collection.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
I'd probably just make the comment, the reason that we're doing it that way is because we don't have a separate city utility like a lot of cities do that already do a separate billing to their customers. And in this case, Pacific Corp is one that goes to each of our the addresses in the city. And so they're capable of it. There's not a lot of utilities or others that do that.
Yeah, we share utilities with Jordan Valley, different water districts. So this is the only one that goes to all residents in the
And
city.
plus, compared to years ago, the cost of doing this is come down
Correct.
60%.
And they're set up for this process. So
All right, thank you for those comments.
I'd move that we approve resolution 2021-54.
It's been moved by Councilor Bracken. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilor Peterson. Any further questions, comments? Hearing none, I call for the vote. Councilor Michael.
Yes.
Councilor Bruce is excused. Councilor Bracken.
Yes.
Councilor Peterson.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. The next item is resolution 2021-55, approving and ratifying a bid and awarding a construction contract for Alta Hill Storm Drain Project. This is a $219,000 project. Matt, do you want to introduce that?
yes, this, as you've said, is a stormwater project. It is part of the original project. We called it the Scottish Drive reconstruction, but Alta Hills is part of that neighborhood. This is where we removed all the asphalt and repaired some curb and gutter. And in the process, one of the things we did discover was a buried storm drain line that we did not know existed. It appeared through a sinkhole. And upon further investigation, the storm drain line has deteriorated. It is pretty much Swiss cheese at this point. So we need to replace that line, and this is what that project will do. It's about 700 lineal feet of new RCP storm drain to go in Alta Hills.
Okay, thank you, Matt. And I know we discussed that in our work session prior. Any further comments, questions from the council? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for resolution 2021-55.
I move that we approve 2021-55, Mayor.
It's been moved by Councilmember Peterson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Michael. Any final comments, questions?
I'd say it's amazing. We still find things like this, but one of those things of incorporating into an area that was built out decades ago, and we're looking at things like has already been brought up in this. I won't say anymore because you haven't asked me to vote yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm just trying to get you over the 20 minutes, Mayor, sorry.
No. It's been moved and seconded. So I'll call for the vote. Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
and I will vote yes, and Councilmember Bruce is excused. That is the extent of our action items today. We have one consent calendar item. That's approval of the city council work session and business meeting minutes for October 19th, 2021. Entertain a motion for approval of those minutes.
I move that we approve.
Been moved by Councilmember Peterson. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Councilmember Bracken. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show that was unanimous. That's all of our business for tonight, being election night. I would now entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
It's been moved. Do we have a second? Been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.